Hello, I'm Mudasir Tantray. Today's topic is categorical proposition. Categorical proposition, its kinds and definition. So first, I will define what is categorical proposition. First, proposition. Proposition is an assertion or we can say is a claim or an idea which is either true or false, or we can say a proposition in which an assertion in which an affirmation or denial is made. It means that if we take the proposition, Socrates is a philosopher. Socrates is a philosopher, where Socrates is subject and philosopher is predicate. It means that an assertion in which an affirmation or denial is made. Affirmation or rejection, we can say. So Socrates is a subject and philosopher is a predicate. Here we are making two processes. One is affirmation, another is when we reject, means, but here is affirmation. Socrates philosopher is affirmation. If I say Socrates is not a philosopher, it is rejection or denial, which means that this is a proposition. So a proposition is an assertion in which an affirmation or denial is made, in which we are affirming about the Socrates as a philosopher. If I say Socrates is not a philosopher, we are rejecting the claim that Socrates is not a philosopher. So categorical proposition. Categorical proposition. A categorical proposition is a proposition. A categorical proposition is a proposition which asserts without any condition. Without any condition. So it is categorical proposition. A proposition which claims or which asserts without any condition, it is called categorical. When we claim something, when we say something about a thing without a condition, we will not produce any condition, we will not put a condition. Just like man is mortal, there is no condition, it is unconditional. It means all men are mortal. Philosophers are thinkers. This is also categorical. Some men are mortal. This is also categorical. When we assert without any condition, So what are those proposition with condition? That is if then, either or, if and only if. These are these are conditional proposition, but this is categorical proposition. A categorical proposition is when we are making any assertion without any condition. It is categorically. If I say man is mortal, it's a categorical man is mortal. If I say philosophers are thinkers, it's categorical philosophers are thinkers. If I say some men are mortal, it is categorical about some men that they are mortal. And some men are no mortal, it's also categorical. No men are mortal, it is also categorical. So when Aristotle gave this classification, he said that it is divided into 4 categorical propositions. 4 categorical proposition based on quality and quantity. Quantity and quality. So we have 4 categorical proposition which asserts about a thing. Just like when we assert about mortality about a man, thinking about philosophers, mortality about some men. That is categorical. There is no condition. There is no condition, just like if philosophers then thinkers, if men then mortal. So quality and quantity means we have 4 categorical proposition. First is universal affirmative. First is universal affirmative. Second is universal negative. Third is particular affirmative. Fourth is particular negative. So based on quality and quantity. Why quantity and quality? Because quantity means all and no, and quality means affirmation and negation. When we affirm or when we negate something, when we positive and negative. So we have 4 categorical propositions, that is universal affirmative, universal negative, particular affirmative, particular negative. Based on these are 4 categorical. They whatever these propositions claim or say, they say without any condition. They are saying categorically what they are saying about the subject. They are saying about the subject. So first categorical proposition is, so quantity means all and no, and quality means affirmation and negation. Quantity means all, no, or we can say all and no, and quality is all, no, and some. These are called quantity, and affirmation and negation are called quality. All, no, and some are quantity, affirmation and negation are quality. So first categorical proposition is universal affirmative proposition. Universal affirmative, it is denoted by A. Denoted by A proposition. It is called A. It is in the form of all S is P. So the categorical proposition which asserts without any condition, the first is universal affirmative proposition. it is denoted by A. It is in the form of all S's P. It means that all rocks are hard. So you can make any proportion just like all S's P, where all SSP means S is the subject and P is the predicate. Raucous is the subject, hard is predicate. So those propositions which are in the form of all SSP are called universal affirmative proposition, or called universal affirmative proposition. Second is universal negative proposition. It is denoted by E. It is denoted by E. So it is in the form of no S is P, where S is subject and P is predicate. So we can say that no birds are insects. So all rocks are hard, no birds are insects. No bird is an insect and no insect is a bird. Those which are in the form of no SSP is called universal negative. Third is here universality, universal, we are saying universal. When we say universal, it means it is quantity. Universal is quantity. Universal affirmative, universal negative. It means universality is quantity. Affirmation is quality. So universality is quantity, affirmation is universal affirmative. Here universality is quantity, affirmation is quality. Here in second, universal negative, in universal affirmative proposition, universality is quantity, affirmation is quality. In second, that is universal negative, universality is quantity, negativity is, or negative is a quality. So particular affirmative proposition. So it is denoted by I, A-E, this is I. It is denoted by I, and it is in the form of some S is P. So some chilies are we can say some chilies are red. Some chilies are red. So this is also categorical. We are categorically asserting about chilies that they are red. Or a second example, we can give some students are hard workers. So this is third this is third proposition, particular affirmative proposition. It is denoted by I. It is in the form of some SSP. Those propositions which are in the form of some SSP, like S is the subject, P is the predicate. Subject means that about which something is said. Predicate means what is said of the subject. Some chilies are red. Chilies is subject, red is predicate. Some students are hard workers. Students are subject, hard workers are predicate. So those propositions which are in the form of some SSP are called particular affirmative proposition. Here particularity is quantity, affirmation is quality. Particularity is quantity and affirmation is quality. So those proportions which are in the form of some SSP, like some students are hard workers, some students are vulgars, some students are lazy, some students are studies. Fourth is particular negative proposition. First is universal affirmative, universal negative, particular affirmative, particular negative proposition. It is denoted by, it is also categorical proposition. It is denoted by O. So first is denoted by universal affirmative is denoted by A, universal negative is denoted by E, particular affirmative is denoted by I, particular negative is denoted by O. So proportion, this is in the form of sum S is not P. Sum S is not P, where S is subject, P is predicate. So those proportions which are in this form, in the form of sum S is not P, are called particular negative proportion, where particularity is the quantity and negativity is the, or negation is the quality. So we can say it is like that some chilies are not red, or some students are not hard workers, or we can say some philosophers are not realists. So those proportions which are in the form of sum S is not P are called particular negative proportion, where particularity is the quantity, negativity is the quality. So examples are some chilies are not red, some students are not hard workers, some philosophers are not realists. So we have discussed four categorical proportion today, that is universal affirmative, universal negative, particular affirmative and particular negative. These are categorical because what they assert without any condition. There is no condition. They are what they are assert, what they are saying, what they are uh, uttering, what we utter about the subject, they are uttering without any condition. Just like the first universal affirmative proportion, it is denoted by A. It is in the form of all S is P. Just like all rocks are hard, all men are mortal, all birds are flying. So second is universal negative proportion. It is denoted by E. It is in the form of no SSP. So the example is that is no birds are insects, no cats are dogs, no pencils are rubbers, just like that. So third is particular affirmative proportion. It is denoted by I. It is in the form of some SSP. Some chilies are red. Some students are hard workers. Some people are ignorant. Some students are lazy. Some rocks are igneous. You can make many examples. Depends upon the form of the proportion. So the fourth is that is particular negative proportion. It is denoted by O. It is in the form of sum S is not P. Those proportions which are in the form of sum S is not P are called particular negative proportion. Just like examples we have, some chilies are not red, some students are not hard workers, some philosophers are not realists, some rocks are not hard, some rocks are not igneous, and some birds are not fast. So today we have discussed about the categorical proportions. We have categorical proportion and discussed it is four types of categorical proportion.